They're supported by our partners, and it takes all the great things that have been built in the community and creates a layer of authentication around those. And in January, we started a competition where our partners got to submit their add-ons as for people to vote on the community's favorite add-ons, and the winner got a chance to come here and show their Alteryx add-on on stage. So for the first time in Alteryx history, the first time in Snyk's history, a non-Alteryx employee, a partner of ours, will be presenting their Snyk here. So please join me in welcoming Ilse from NextWave to the stage.
My name is Ilse. I work at NextWave, a consultancy firm and long-standing partner of Alteryx. As you can probably tell by the accent, I am not based in the US. It's actually my first time here in Las Vegas, hence the song. I'm from the Netherlands, working in the Amsterdam office as the sustainability practice manager. I have a background in banking consultancy and the investment fund industry and hold multiple degrees in law and business. Given my specialization in sustainability regulation, we decided to develop the CSRD-ESG reporting solution. Now, I won't blame you if you have no clue what this stands for, so let's break it down. ESG, it seems like one of these corporate buzzwords that we just can't seem to get rid of. Can we do a quick raise of hands? Who here knows what ESG stands for? Okay, quite a few now, great. Well, for those of you who've managed to escape this acronym, it stands for environmental, social, and governance. So any company will be used to reporting their financial statements in their annual reports in a very structured and standardized way. It's heavily regulated and leaves little room for interpretation. But what about a company's non-financial information, like ESG-related information? Think of stuff like your carbon emissions, the workers in your value chain, and how efficiently you use your resources. Now, there's been a significant increase in pressure from the public, investors, and now regulators to report on this type of information. And while some companies delegate this task to their accounting departments, more often this responsibility is delegated across multiple departments in the firm. So listen up, as this could now be relevant to you. Europe, being Europe, took this whole ESG thing to the next level with something called the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, the CSRD. Sounds fancy, right? It's basically a massive law covering the reporting of all your non-financial information so that it gets more detailed, structured, and standardized. See it as the counterpart of financial reporting rules. So the scope of this regulation is extremely broad and very detailed, with no less than 82 disclosure requirements and up to 1,200 data points. So where a lot of companies used to get away with saying that they love trees and have a recycling bin in their office, now it's not that easy anymore. I know, good to know, compliance is not optional, as you will be facing big fines from the regulator, reputational damage, and in France, directors can even face up to 5 years in jail. Now, this massive regulation applies to no less than 50,000 of the largest EU companies, which is a huge number. And you might be thinking, well, we're in Las Vegas, why should I care? Well, this regulation also applies to 10,000 non-EU parent companies with a large presence in the EU. And here in the US, the SEC is also starting to implement similar ESG reporting rules. So be sure to get familiar now. You should know that reporting on ESG data comes with many issues that accumulate the larger your organization is. Data will be scattered across different departments and supply chain partners. New sources and requirements keep being added. Data can be structured and unstructured and will come in many different formats. So how on earth could you create one aggregated, all-encompassing, auditable report from that? Well, and this won't come as a surprise to many of you as Alteryx users, but using Excel and manual processes certainly won't be the solution. Don't worry, there's a green light at the end of the tunnel, because we have built a whole set of standardized ESG macros that you can download from the Alteryx marketplace. And while we use these macros for ESG regulation, you can imagine the use of pre-built Alteryx macros for other types of regulatory reporting. What you see here is what your normal flow for one of the macros, representing one reporting metric, will look like. I will break down the 4 stages of this flow, where the data flows from different sources, gets normalized and prepared, and by using our macros, we'll eventually give you the required number for your report. First, let's zoom in on the data consolidation stage, where we connect a variety of internal and external data sources that a company might have in its operations and supply chain. The obvious ones are Excel sheets and SQL databases, but even unstructured data like PDF files and other data systems containing data that the regulator now swears is important. Zooming out, we will go to stage 2, where we move on to the data normalization and preparation stage. Here, the data gets prepared for our macros. Then in the next stage, stage 3, is where the data goes through the macros that are specifically aligned with the exact quantitative requirements of the regulation. Every macro is basically a data translation of one reporting requirement stated in the law, standardized for all companies, with new ones easily being added when the regulation gets updated. Organizations can download the relevant macros for themselves from the Alteryx marketplace. In the final stage, we have the reporting stage. Here, you get the exact numbers that are required for your CSRD report. And if you want to get fancy, you can use Alteryx Auto Insights to find trends and correlations to improve your KPIs for next year and make you look like a sustainability superstar. In conclusion, all this pressure from clients, investors, and regulators to report on sustainability metrics can be incredibly challenging from a data perspective. But our macros will turn this new reporting burden from a migraine into more like a minor headache, opening Alteryx up to a massive base of potential clients. We have one macro available today that you can already download from the Alteryx marketplace, but we need your vote to keep adding more macros. So vote for us, and let's make Alteryx an indispensable tool for non-financial regulatory reporting.
That was fantastic, and we definitely see more and more of our customers coming to us to ask us about this type of reporting. Are you seeing it as well?
Yes, I mean, I'm not personally familiar with exactly this, but anything that is repeatable over and over again, don't do it twice. So if you have a pre-built suite of something like this, it's going to be a huge time saver. So yeah, absolutely, we do similar things, but not with this specific thing, so yeah, well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Ilse, so much, and
Perfect.
Thank you, NextWave.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out the marketplace.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was a little nervous that you had another beer you were going to pull out of somewhere, and I didn't want to know where it was.
You're waiting for something, yeah. But no, I'm an aggressively lazy man, so something like that, where I could just say, there you go, that's now done, and just repeat it. That's super.
The value of why we want to have a marketplace, so these types of technologies can be shared and supported.